Hello everyone, it's Billy Hi from Starbase. We are here with Jojo Robbie of what the I wish I wrote this down. Starfleet Federation. Uh I hope you enjoy, and please don't forget that it is a good time to like and subscribe. Jojo, if you will, introduce yourself please.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mm, so, have you got any question or something?
No, you're just
So
introducing
should
yourself
I?
right now.
Okay. So my name is Jojo, and I'm the creator of the Starfleet Federation, which has 215 members at the moment. And yes, my faction is still active. Now I'm still playing Starbase. I think for around 2 years. I'm playing now, and yes.
So Jojo, how did you get your start in Starbase?
What?
How did you get your start in Starbase?
My start. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty funny because I was like just joining the game and I was always looking for players to play with. Like as there was still a crew requirement. Mm, I often enjoyed playing with others like in a crew, and it was something pretty special, like playing with a battleship. And to be honest, the main reason I played is because I just wanted to unlock the light nuclear bomber. And then I someone joined the Starbase Discord, and then I joined the faction. I think it was Chose Lion. It was my really first one, but I wasn't in the Discord. I think isn't. I think that is your faction. Is it right? Oh yes, I guess. Mm. And then I joined Echo Alpha, and then I joined the Ankylon Empire. It was a pretty inactive faction, and yes,
Alright, the SSS.
that's my start.
Oh yes, the SSS Anglon. What is it, an SSS or ASS? I can't remember.
Um, SF.
No, the first ship, a
You mean
big neon ship. The NSS
what do you mean?
Anglon. You know that big old ship
Uh, yeah, yeah.
with you
Oh, I
submitting?
can remember that. Yes, I made a ship for that faction. It was a bit later on. I think that was some months later after I joined the Ankylon Empire, and the idea was a floating city, but for some reason it didn't get added. I don't know why. It had a pretty low part count. Actually, I managed to reduce it, but it didn't look really good, the interior, and
It looked like
as
a
it didn't,
brick.
it
It
just
looked like a flying brick, okay?
yes, kind of not exactly like a brick. I think I used a terrain editing tool to make the hull of it.
A terrain
Yes, I
editing tool.
think I used a terrain tool.
There's a,
Yes.
okay, yeah, let's just say you're right on that. So, when did you found Starfleet Federation, and how are you happy with its progress?
Um, I can look up when it was. I think I know it, but I'm not sure. Um, yes, it was on the 19th April 20, 23. So it was actually this year, and we actually changed many members. And sadly, there are no other high ranks. They're just officers. I wish I had some high ranks. And yes, we've also got a decent amount of players joining deployments. It always depends on when the deployment is.
As with like
But
most
I would,
other things, yeah.
but uh, but I would say I'm pretty happy with its progress. And yeah,
So, can you tell
it
us?
will. Ra-
Sorry. Can you tell
Uh,
us?
what?
Hello. Yeah. Can you tell us what goes into running a faction, recruitment?
Um, yes. Well, the first part you need to understand is recruitment. It's not that hard. You're just going into a server and asking like, "Hey, is anyone interested in joining my faction?" And most faction leaders are making the mistake, well, first to not think of doing in-game recruitment, and the others are like that there have to be requirements for the members, which isn't a very good idea, because I'm always thinking like the members don't want me when I'm a very small faction. Um, it's more like that I want that I'm the one who wants the members to join me. And when you got some members, it is always important to keep it active, like making activities and stuff. Even if no one joins, it's very important. And yeah, you can specialize in different stuff. Like my faction is we're working more on teamwork and that everything is orderly. Well, it's not a rocket science having a faction, but most players are just overcomplicating it, and some are just too new to the game. I saw a faction leader who was like level 30 or something like that, and yes, he said like that he's gonna grow and he wants an alliance with my faction, but that was some weeks ago. There was a diplomatic meeting, but some you may have guessed it, he didn't chain a single member. But yeah.
Yep. And honestly, what do you think the biggest like issue with faction recruitment in general is now? Is because before, if you recall, factions actually had an official part in the Discord server,
Mm. I have to say that
and they
the
don't have
removal of
it.
faction in the Discord, it didn't really make a difference in what factions mm, are, because if we look back then, we are just seeing factions that got no one joining in deployments, and most were like doing that diplomacy, and it wasn't really like that you could say that there were real factions. And I would say that most factions today are more focusing on playing the game. It's not that of an issue, but most players just think that factions are dead because there isn't a recruitment thing anymore. But in-game recruitment is much better than having having an advertisement in a faction listings channel.
Right, and there's always the issue of convincing players to join in the first place. What would be your advice on faction leaders who are struggling to get players, and who are also and players who think factions are just
Well,
bigger versions of crews.
mm, well, if you want to chain members as a small faction, you could, on one hand, you could like do the normal recruitment thing, or what I would recommend is just getting a bunch of friends on Starbase, like playing with them, and then creating a faction and offering them to join. And the advantage is that these players who are your friends will be much more active than normal members, and then you can go in servers and players would see that your faction has like 5 people or 4 joining a deployment, and some might join, and your faction would be remembered if you're like going in the server and saying, hey, someone wanna join a faction, and yeah, that's it.
What do you think was the most crucial sort of uh, turning point where SF started getting these 200 sort of members um, with decent
You mean
amounts of
you mean like do you mean where it really started with getting members?
yeah, where members started
Mm,
joining either in droves or
yeah, that's hard to
individually.
say. The thing is, the Starfleet Federation, some members are coming from a faction named the New Federal Union, and we had a head start. I mean, I've built up the New Union, I think, pretty much, and yeah, some officers, like the officers IK and Red, I think so. He was also in NFU, and we chained pretty many members from the beginning. Mm, and it didn't really make a difference how big we were. We just did many activities and we were growing all the time. And then somewhere we reached the 200. It's a bit different than the other factions.
And finally, do you have any last words or topics on faction diplomacy or just advice for new
Yes,
factions or players in general?
I do. I have an advice for most faction leaders. Don't kill each other's faction off. What I mean by that is just attacking random enemy faction players in a public server who don't have any idea what is going on. Uh, What I mean is like the same like the factions back then did just for kill logs, just ganging up on one player.
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to JoJo for coming. And of course, you always have to hit that like and subscribe button. Have a good day, have a good night, and most importantly, play hard. Billy High Stardust News.